The Congress manifesto is in a lot of controversy, and the Congress manifesto has evoked some very strong reactions coming in from the BJP. And the man who was in charge of the 2004 winning slogan of Congress ka haath aam aadmi ke saath, and now the Congress's slogan is Congress ka haath badlenge halat, Mr. Jairam Ramesh. Thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. Jairam, I'm just going to focus now because of the latest controversy, and hear me out. According to the BJP and the Prime Minister, your manifesto is speaking the language of the Muslim League.
Let me ask the Prime Minister. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, founder of the Bharatiya Janata Sangh, was in league with the Muslim League. He was part of a coalition government in Bengal in the early 1940s with the Muslim League. The Hindu Mahasabha of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, the founder of the Janata Sangh, was in league with the Muslim League in Sindh and Northwest Frontier. It was Mr. L.K. Advani and Mr. Jaswant Singh, leaders of the BJP, who went to Pakistan and eulogized the leader of the Muslim League, one of the men responsible for the partition of India, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. It was not the Congress party which was in bed with the Muslim League, it was the founder of the Bharatiya Janata Sangh. And what is this language of the Prime Minister? A desperate Prime Minister, unable to find any substantive points to make. He is talking of Tushtikaran. He is giving farmers MSP, legal guarantee, Tushtikaran. He is giving 1 lakh to a woman of every poor household, Tushtikaran. Is filling 30 lakh government vacancies, Tushtikaran.
But when you talk about giving special rights to the minorities,
let me explain. What have we said on the minorities? We will ensure that the constitutional rights of each and every citizen of India, including the minorities, which is enshrined in the Constitution of Baba Sahib Ambedkar, is fulfilled. And this is the reason for the 400 par. First he gets Bibek Debroy to speak, then he gets Anand Hegde to speak, then he gets Jyoti Mirdha to speak. He doesn't have the courage to speak. He wants to replace this Constitution of India, of which the pillars are, one of the pillars is secularism, the other pillar is social justice. There are other pillars as well. And deeply uncomfortable with this Baba Sahib Ambedkar's constitution, is thinking of a new constitution.
No, as a political party, anyone can set a target, right? I mean, who's stopping you?
But the real reason for the target is to rewrite the constitution. I mean, is this a language that behooves the Prime Minister? Can't he find anything substantive to talk about? We have given 25 guarantees. We have a Panch Nyay program. What is Tushtikaran about these guarantees? Okay,
what is Tushtikaran about this? Let me just talk about the caste census thing.
I mean, this is completely...
No, hear me out on the caste census.
This Prime Minister every day discovers new depths to plumb for dishonesty, for hypocrisy and for lying.
Okay. Jairam, you mentioned the caste census. This is something which Rahul Gandhi feels very strongly about. Rajiv Gandhi had talked about in India, which is bereft of caste, creed, religion, differences and that.
India 21st century.
Yeah, but 21st century, you're suddenly talking about the OBCs and the caste. Aren't you also doing politics over it?
We had a caste census in 2011. Please brush up your history. Mr. Narendra Modi's own colleague in Bihar has carried out a caste census. Is he against Nitish Kumar's caste census? Tell me. In 2011.
No, but why are you remembering the caste census just ahead of the Lok Sabha elections? This is what the BJP is asking.
We've been saying for the last 3 years. Socio-economic. I was the rural development minister when we carried out the socio-economic caste census. 25 crore households, socio-economic data and caste data was collected from these households. Isn't caste the basis of affirmative action in our country? Don't we have reservations for scheduled castes? Don't we have reservations for scheduled tribes?
But you're talking about breaching the 50% cap.
1 minute. Don't we have reservations for OBCs? If we are breaching the 50% cap, is Mr. Narendra Modi against the 69% in Tamil Nadu? Let him come out openly and say that I am against in the Tamil Nadu 69% law is in the 9th schedule. Is he against that? Does he want to reduce 69% to 50%? I mean, you see, the Prime Minister is desperate. He knows he is not going to get a majority. And therefore, he is manufacturing, he knows only one game. He knows only one strategy, that is to polarize. And to somehow twist and distort the debate to communal issues. And that's what he's trying to do.
But you get an SDPI support in Wayanad.
No, SDPI has got nothing to do with our manifesto, yeah.
No, I'm talking also about the example
that... You asked me about the manifesto. I'm replying to the manifesto. You can have genuine differences of opinion on the manifesto. Many of my friends have genuine differences. I respect those differences. I'm willing to debate those differences. But to say that this manifesto is an agenda for, for Tushtikaran, as he uses, and he says that this bears the imprint of the Muslim League, I mean, this is extraordinary for a man whose guru was in bed with the Muslim League for years, and whose mentors, Advani and Mr. Jaswant Singh, went to Pakistan and eulogized the leader of the Muslim League. And for him to turn around and say that the Congress party has the imprint of the All India Muslim League, I mean, this is extraordinary for this even for this Prime Minister, as I said, who's pathologically, he's just incapable of speaking the truth.
Okay. Now we're going to shift to another point which is there in the manifesto, where you talk about the China issue, right? And you are, Rahul Gandhi and you and all of you have been very critical of the government's China policy. But just recently, the Prime Minister had said that ghar mein ghus ke maruga, something which the Defence Minister also told our channel about that this is exactly the way our foreign policy works. We are robust. Congress has been on the back foot because
no.
Hear me out. On the Balakot airstrike, some of your leaders questioned it.
We are not on the back foot.
Nationalism, you are always on the back foot.
Why isn't the media asking the Prime Minister? Why did he give a clean chit to China on the 19th of June 2020? This was not a private clean chit. He said it on television. He gave a public clean chit to the Chinese. And that was a direct consequence. The direct result of that was our negotiating position with China has been considerably weakened. He has not said one word on China. And in the last 3 years, we've had a record trade deficit with China, with the continuing imports from China. So all I'm saying, why don't you ask the Prime Minister? Why did he give...
Okay, I'll ask the Prime Minister when I get to ask him. I'm asking you.
No, I'm asking you.
Do you think...
You are asking the Congress party. I am asking you, the Prime Minister owes the nation an explanation for his clean chit to China.
Okay.
When he
Can
said,
I ask you this
ना
question?
कोई बाहर से आया है, ना कोई हमारे ज़मीन पर बैठा हुआ है.
But now the PM says, घर में घुस के मारूंगा. What is your reaction to that?
No, listen. What
do you appreciate the fact that our terrorists...
2024 elections are being fought on the घर के issues of महंगाई, of बेरोजगारी, of बढ़ती हुई आर्थिक विषमताएं, on price rise, on unemployment, on growing economic inequalities, the atmosphere of fear and intimidation. Those are the issues. Those are
घर में घुस के मारूंगा is not an issue.
We are
a robust foreign policy is not an issue.
We are distributing 8 crore guarantee cards to 8 crore families.
Jairam,
we are
point
going
taken.
Ghar.
But I also
going ghar.
But I know we are going ghar, but I also want to ask you this question.
Out of 25 crore ghars, we are going to 8 crore ghars with these
Jairam,
cards.
I think it's fair that you listen to me.
Price rise, unemployment. No, what should be fair is the media should be raising these
can
issues.
I ask you this question?
Not beating the drum of the Prime Minister.
2014. This is a fair question. 2014, one of the main reasons which your own party colleagues agreed was the Pulwama attack. The fact is... 2019, I'm sorry, yeah, 2019. So, that is an issue. Nationalism
it's an intelligence
works.
failure. Have you taken the nation into confidence? You must have done some analysis. You must have done some post-mortem. Why it happened? Did you answer the questions of Satyapal Malik, who was the governor of Jammu and Kashmir? What are the intelligence failures? What are the points that Mr. Satyapal Malik raised? You appointed him. We didn't appoint him. You appointed him governor. He raised some issues. Have you answered those issues?
But if now the Prime Minister...
These are all diversionary issues.
Even when the Prime Minister says that...
These are all diversionary issues. The issues for us in this election, महंगाई, बेरोजगारी, बढ़ती हुई आर्थिक विषमताएं, ध्रुवीकरण, भय, and this now new issue that has come up after the Supreme Court has declared the entire electoral bond scheme as unconstitutional.
I'll come to that in a bit. I just want to finish up one by one. I want to finish. See, Jairam,
all these issues,
you are also,
the Prime Minister
you are also not letting me ask the questions. I want to ask you the questions. I'm only asking you, do you think that when a Prime Minister goes and says that, घर में घुस के मारूंगा, and at least in border areas, how can that be a diversionary tactic?
He's talking right now deliberately. Okay. The Defence Minister and the Prime Minister to divert the nation's attention, to divert the narrative, because they're losing the narrative. They're losing the narrative on price rise, they're losing the narrative on unemployment, they're losing the narrative on social justice, they're completely lost the narrative on Kisans, completely lost the narrative on workers, industrial labor, unorganized sector. So therefore, you manufacture these issues, you get into these issues.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a couple of other questions. And this one point which Rahul Gandhi mentioned, which is there in your manifesto, altering the 10th schedule, immediate disqualification of defectors. Why? Are you bothered that there are so many people leaving the Congress party? What do you have to
Mr. Chidambaram has, most people are leaving the Congress party. Most of them are seeing washing machines at the end of the road. Some of them are leaving because of their private ambitions.
But what's wrong in that?
Nothing wrong. If they want to leave, they leave. After the party has given them everything, party has given them name, party has given them respect. What they have become is because of the party. If they still choose to leave the party, it's their decision. But some of them have left in response to fear, in response to intimidation, in response to threats. Let's be very clear about this.
But you also...
This is not what I am saying. This is what leading newspapers have published.
But Jairam, there are people from...
There is a washing machine and there is a special washing powder in this country that cleans the stains of all congressmen who have been originally accused of. Take Mr. Praful Patel as an example. In 2014, the Prime Minister produced a charge sheet against Dr. Manmohan Singh and said that one of the biggest scams is the Air India scam. He showed a CAG report, right? Mr. Praful Patel joins the BJP, CBI closes the case. Why doesn't the Prime Minister apologize to Dr. Manmohan Singh, saying that I was wrong, the CBI was wrong? And I would say even Mr. Praful Patel should have the courage to say, why did you call me corrupt in 2014 now that you have closed the case? They've closed the case. And this is one of the main points in the charge sheet against Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Okay. So but कहते हैं ना कि हमाम में सब नंगे हैं.
I'm sorry to say that, you know, even the media is quite about
we are not doing an interview, we are bashing the media, but हमाम में सब नंगे हैं. In Telangana,
showing a mirror to the media.
In Telangana also, you're taking people from the BRS into your party. That is okay?
Well, this is migration season, yeah.
So then why are you blaming if people are leaving the Congress party?
See, people are leaving the Congress party. I am not saying, the media is saying. The Indian Express reported out of 25 leaders, there are 23 leaders against whom there are charges. And you can see the electoral bonds. That's the best. One of the four routes.
Let's finish off with Telangana.
One second.
So if you're doing the same thing, why do you have a problem if BJP is doing the same?
1 minute. In the electoral bonds, nobody is threatening anybody in the BRS. The BRS guys are leaving and joining the Congress. Not because the Chief Minister of Telangana or Mr. Rahul Gandhi is threatening to send agencies against them. We don't control ED. We don't control CBI. We don't control income tax. Those are controlled by the central government. They're not controlled by the state government.
And you want to change all of that if you Congress comes here?
With this draconian powers that have been given.
But you know, Jairam Ramesh,
of course, the draconian powers have been given. The law must prevail. The law must prevail.
So I was just coming to that.
The corrupt must be held guilty according to due process of law.
I was reading in your manifesto, you say ki bail rather than jail.
Just because you give electoral bond, you are let go. I mean, look at the way this hafta vasuli has worked. Look at the way the companies, we have put out the list of companies. You start ED raids against them, you get CBI raids against them, you put income tax investigation against them, they buy the electoral bond and suddenly they become free of income tax, CBI and the ED. Isn't that the use of instruments?
Now, Jairam, can I ask you this question? You say bail rather than jail. The other perception which the BJP is building a counter to it, and you're always supporting people who are corrupt. In Ramlila Maidan, when all of you were holding hands, it was actually a conglomeration of corrupt people. How will you find
Should I name the number of corrupt people in the BJP?
The perception of the people.
The biggest issue is Supreme Court. No other institution, none other than the Supreme Court has said the electoral bond issue is not just illegal, but it's unconstitutional. And we have documented how by buying electoral bonds worth 4,000 crores, companies have got 4 lakh crores worth of contracts. It's all available in the public domain. Hafta Vasuli, shell companies. Then there have been BJP MPs who have got contracts and they have bought electoral bonds. BJP MPs, they have come in the newspapers.
You spoke about people leaving the party, and this is the last question I'm going to ask on this before I move on. Gaurav Vallabh goes. He says, I'm very uncomfortable with the Sanatan Dharma.
I am not going
And he says, I don't like the wealth creators being attacked. What do you have to say to that?
I am not going to speak on any individual.
But the point he raised.
But all I am, it's a completely bogus point. That's all I will say.
Even when he says that needless attack on wealth creators. Even the point he says on wealth creators.
I am not speaking on any individual. I am not going to stoop to that level. I am not going to speak on any individual, but individuals say a lot of things when they leave in order to improve their acceptance level. Number badhana hai na BJP mein.
Okay. Now let's talk about a couple of other things. First of all, let's come back to Rahul Gandhi. Why are you not projecting him as a PM face? Because virtually he seems to be taking all the decision.
This is not a beauty contest. This is a contest between parties. It's a contest between ideologies. It's a contest of competing manifestos, between poll symbols, between party agendas, party platforms, party programs, party policies. Our elections, let me hasten to remind you, is not an American-style beauty contest. It's not between individuals.
No, it will be Modi versus whom, no?
No, it's not. You are making it Modi versus whom. For us, it is BJP versus the NDA alliance. It's BJP versus Congress in many.
But there is clarity that in case the NDA wins, who's going to become the PM here? There's no clarity.
Where was the clarity? Did the BJP project a CM face in Rajasthan? Did they project a CM face in Madhya Pradesh? Did they project a CM face in Chhattisgarh? I mean, listen, we are not a individual-centric democracy. We are a party-centric democracy. The party is fighting these elections. But BJP is fighting, we are fighting, left parties are fighting, regional parties are fighting. So these are parties that are fighting. Parties ally, individuals don't ally. Parties come together, party workers come together, party organizations come together. So let's not get into this, personalization of our democratic system. That is dangerous to our democracy.
Okay. Now let's talk about Amethi.
What about it?
What about it? Suspense. Today's Smriti Irani ne soundbite diya where she's saying that what you did to Amethi in 2019, you're going to do to Wayanad now. That's what she said when she went to Wayanad. And how you're letting down the people of Amethi because you're trying to fool them and not tell them. Why is there no clarity? Is the Congress party...
There is total clarity. Mr. Rahul Gandhi was asked this question on the 15th of March in Thane. And he answered, and I can do no better than to repeat what he said that day. He said, he was asked, क्या अमेठी से आप चुनाव लड़ेंगे? तो he said, मैं कांग्रेस का वफादार सिपाही हूँ, जो CEC तय करेगा, मैं उसी निर्णय का पूरा पालन करूँगा.
So does the party want him to contest from Amethi?
No, if you are asking me, is the party want him to contest? The answer is yes. The people of Amethi want him to contest. Party is yes. But ultimately, these are decisions that are discussed in the CEC and a considered view is taken. And first of all, I'm not a member of the CEC. And secondly, there is still lots of time before the nomination process starts for Amethi on the 27th particularly.
Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, why should she not enter active politics? I mean, she's played a very important role.
Of course, she's our star campaigner. She has campaigned relentlessly, indefatigably. She's still doing so. If she wants to contest, I'm sure she will make her mind and decision known to the CEC, and the CEC will take a call. Is there popular demand for her? The answer is yes. Does the organization want her to contest? The answer is yes. But these are decisions that are not forced down people. These are decisions that people take, then they get discussed, and then the CEC takes a considered view of these candidatures. So I think we are not a party where one man's writ runs.
That's what they say about the Congress and Gandhi's writ.
We have a system. Names come. And if you're asking me whether there is keenness and enthusiasm for Priyanka Gandhiji's name and Rahul Gandhiji's name in the UP Congress system, the answer is yes.
But Jairam, there seems to be a problem as far as seat sharing talks are goes. I mean, do you regret the fact that Mamata Banerjee is not by your side?
She's not part of her. She's part of the India Alliance.
So are you hoping...
We may not have shared seats, but we share the same priority. We share the same ideology.
So are you hoping that if case the Congress and India Front is in a position to form the government, but it falls short of numbers...
We are not hoping. We know.
What's your target then? Inka to 400 par hai, aapka kya hai?
We will definitely cross 272. And we'll have a clear and convincing majority. I'm speaking from experience of 2003. When we were wiped out in Chhattisgarh, we were wiped out in Rajasthan, we were wiped out in Madhya Pradesh. There was India shining. There was this Bhishma Pitamaha of Indian politics, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was the Prime Minister, and people like you were not giving us any chance, and ultimately the Congress...
That's not true, I was there.
Congress, by you I mean, the community, the tribe that you represent, and we emerged as the single largest party, and we formed a majority by a clear and convincing and a stable majority.
Okay, before I let you go, there are parties like the BSP which are fence-sitters.
The more Prime Minister speaks, the more his desperation becomes evident. This is a desperate Prime Minister. This is not a nervous Prime Minister alone. This is a desperate Prime Minister.
You don't think Ram Mandir and all of these are going to be an issue?
He knows that after June 4th, it has to be a long retirement for him.
You don't think Ram Mandir and all of them are going to be an issue?
They're trying to make all these...
No, I'm asking you because you people didn't know.
The real issue is price rise. The real issue is unemployment. The real issue is economic inequality. The real issue is the injustice that has been done to youth, to farmers and to women and to the socially disadvantaged groups in the country. Those are the real issues. There are real, pressing, urgent economic and social issues which the Prime Minister is trying to divert attention from.
Okay, last question. There are parties like the BSP and all who have stayed away from you. Are you hoping in case the 272 part, they'll come and join you?
It's up to the BSP.
Would you want to? Would you want them to?
How can I tell you? First of all, I'm not part of the high command of the India Alliance. There are leaders. They meet. They take a decision. There are pluses. There are minuses. People have joined us before the election. There may well be parties who may join us after the election. They may well be. Once we get a majority, I'm not saying if we get a majority, when we get a majority on June 4th, they may well join us. Some of the NDA allies may well join us.
You know, one of the reasons why
there may be reverse migration taking place.
Okay, so we'll wait to see that. But do you think it's good that you had an alliance with, say, an AAP who has been your fighter, who has grown at the cost of the Congress party in retrospect?
Well, listen, we came to an understanding with Aam Aadmi Party. We know the background of the Aam Aadmi Party. The priorities of the Aam Aadmi Party and the priorities of the Congress converge. Today, it is to provide India and Indians freedom from autocratic rule, to save our constitution, to save our democracy, to address the problems of farmers and women and youth. Now, if there is convergence between any party, and Aam Aadmi Party happens to be one of them, and the Congress Party, they are welcome to join the India Alliance.
Anyway, so I guess I'll see you next on 4th June. Maybe before that also, but 4th June definitely. And as they say, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani. So we'll come to know all that. But thank you very much, Jairam, as always, for speaking to CNN News 18.
Thank you.